I want to read to you, though, the confession by Kenneth Kuhn. It's kind of offensive, so bear with me, but this will give you a little idea into why this murder happened. Kuhn said that he was with two other guys that were in the Brand, which is the Aryan Brotherhood, and they had driven to the Chino area to collect a debt. He also stated that they had driven to a residence in Chino and that the two guys got out and that they were there for about 10 to 15 minutes and that one of the guys was carrying 2 axes or a hatchet. That he also had gloves on and that one of them made the statement that the debt was officially collected and that the first guy that came out turned around and who looked in the area where Kevin Cooper was hiding out and said, "Who the fuck is the nigger?" That scared them. He said the man that made the statement was looking in the direction of the window where Kevin was, and they decided that they should get out of there. He states that Kuhn was dropped off in San Bernardino somewhere. He does not know where. And he said that, one of the guys was dropped off in San Bernardino, and then this Kenneth Kuhn guy went to, quote, his old lady's house and changed his coveralls. He made the statement that one of the guys that came out with the axes was very upset because they had apparently left one small child alive. He stated that these people had apparently collected a debt at the Ryan house and that they were debt collectors for the Aryan Brotherhood and that they had been in the pen before for murder and that this also included someone that was currently on death row. He also stated that he thought they hit the wrong house. So the issue of DNA really, really scares the hell out of me. I mean, we have this evidence here that 3 white guys did this, and yet all of this evidence somehow is coming against Kevin. You know, we've been taught to believe that when the police arrest someone, they have DNA evidence, the person's guilty, it's shut, closed, but we know, you know, because of this Kevin Cooper case, that's just not true. Crime labs all over the country, you know, they're not independent of the police. Some of them are actually run by the DA. And they've been known, from Oklahoma to California, they've been busted creating evidence. And the case of fake DNA evidence in Kevin Cooper's case just goes on and on. They claim that they found in the house where the murders happened a single drop of blood that belonged to Kevin Cooper. And they did testing on it years ago before DNA. And they said that it was consistent with that of a black man. So that was something that got Kevin. Years later, we asked for DNA testing on this drop of blood, and they said it was Kevin's. So then years later, we asked for more. And as it turned out, they said, well, we used it all. We found out, we had the paperwork, and it said that blood had been consumed in the last DNA testing. But when the state decided that they wanted to frame up Kevin, make the frame up even deeper, all of a sudden that blood stain that had been used up reappeared. It replenished itself. How did that happen? You know? So we asked for, you know, we want to know, is that, it's obviously from a test tube, let's test for EDTA. There was also an issue of a cigarette butt. The police claim that Kevin killed these people so he could steal their car and get out of the area. However, they found the car, and they found the victim's car, and there were no cigarette butts in it. You look at all the photographs of the crime scene photographs, there's no cigarette butts. But then years later they said, well, we found the cigarette butt that belonged to Kevin Cooper. So we asked for some DNA testing on it, and what they gave us was a cigarette that was several millimeters longer than the one that they claimed they had in 1983. So we want to know how a cigarette that's dehydrated, been smoked, how does it grow? What we do know is that Kevin Cooper was smoking at the time. He was in jail, he was being held for his trial, and they could have easily taken that. Another thing is that there were people in a bar, a local bar, near where they found the blue or the beige t-shirt. 3 white men came in the night of the murders. They were out of their minds, they were drugged out, they were kicked out. One was wearing bloody coveralls and a beige t-shirt, another was wearing a blue t-shirt. Later on, a blue t-shirt was found by the side of the road that had blood stains on it, and the police destroyed it. They're now claiming that we're confused, that we confused a beige t-shirt with a tan one. But the woman who found it came forward, and she's completely white supremacist, not friendly to Kevin at all. And she says, no, I found the blue t-shirt. She actually was hoping Kevin was already dead, and she was hoping she was helping the prosecution. And when she gave this sworn statement, it completely showed that the beige t-shirt was not the only piece, the only garment found near the murder scene. So that's another piece of evidence that was destroyed. Another thing that's interesting is that there is undebatable proof that Kevin Cooper could not have done these murders, stolen the car, and parked it, which, you know, I think Long Beach or something, somewhere far away from the murder scene, and gotten to where we actually know he was. He was in Tijuana, Mexico, in a cheap hotel. He hitchhiked out of the area, and the time he checked into the hotel would have made it impossible for him to do what they claim he did. So I could go on and on and on, but I really strongly urge everyone to read this dissent. I mean, it's like a soap opera. It's hard to wrap your head around. Read this, get familiar with this case, and get out in the streets with us. Kevin is in trouble. Like I said, last weekend we filed our last response to the state in front of the Supreme Court. A decision against or for Kevin could come as early as the end of this month. If they decide against Kevin Cooper, if the U.S. Supreme Court decides against Cooper, he will be executed as soon as the moratorium in California is lifted. He's one of the first people. They have a line of people right now that they're starting to just line up ready for executions. So I sincerely reach out to all of you to get involved. Kevin Cooper is innocent. We have to get out in the streets. We have to mobilize and raise the demand to free Kevin Cooper. Not another day in prison, no execution. We have to end the death penalty. This is the kind of stuff that they're using against us. This has to be exposed. So I'm going to shut up. I'm going to go on all day.